What if I told you that keeping silence or not having this conversation with your adolescents about their sexual and reproductive health or conversations around sex is actually going to let them make mistakes, actually going to lead them into that astray that you don't want them to go to? What if silence is the reason your teenagers is getting advice from TikTok, from friends, from YouTube, from their peers at school, their peers on social media, that online community that you don't know exists, that they have? Because really, adolescents have their ways with social media. Adolescents, when they are speaking with their friends, they have words they say, they have slangs they say that you may not understand, but they and their friends connect and understand, and they can literally be talking about, oh, I'm already having sex with my boyfriend, or my boyfriend is doing this, my boyfriend is doing that, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Let's talk about today what parents get wrong when it comes to talking about sex to their adolescents. Let's be honest. I'm being honest with you. For most parents, the idea of talking about sex feel awkward. They feel, to some, they feel it is sinful. They feel like, oh, it's a no-go area. It's a conversation that we shouldn't talk about, or it's something that we should not talk about. Or if you should tell them, it's to lead them astray. Or if you should tell them, it's to make them do things they're not supposed to do. We were raised in cultures or where sex seems silent, or for our parents, we were raised in environments that conversations around sexual and reproductive health was silent, and that is why people like me exist, so that we can amplify these conversations the more, because we want to make sure children and adolescents, when they grow up into young adults and into amazing adults, they are armed with this information so they can make better decisions for themselves and for their future. So in cultures here in Nigeria, across Africa, and I would say generally, conversations around sexual and reproductive health are said in hushed tones. They are said in silence. Sometimes they are termed as shameful conversations, or parents just says it once and they say it in a very autocratic way, and they feel like, oh, everybody should move on and get adapted to it. Really? It doesn't go that way. So we assume silence equals safety, and really silence doesn't equal safety. Silence equals trouble. Silence equals so many conversations left unsaid and can lead to problem. So, but the truth is, silence only leaves rooms for misinformation. Silence leaves room for misinformation. Silence makes the teenagers become more curious, because these things are already curious already. Adolescents are curious people. They want to know. So many things are going through their mind. They might not be speaking to you, but they expect you to listen, although they are not speaking. And that is where you come into place, because you have to listen to them without them speaking, and still communicate the right information when it comes to their sexual and reproductive health. Because trust me, if you tell them the right thing, they know what to do with it, and they won't go and do what is wrong out there. And even if they do what is wrong, they will still come back and meet, because they know you are going to embrace them without judgment, but still embrace them and correct them in love while going through this. So if you don't talk about it, someone else will, and the person might not say the right thing, or the person might not tell them the actual truth. When I was going about hearing so many conversations around, children, girl child, boy child, I went to go and meet their parent and say, oh, mommy, what is this and this and this about, virginity, or what's this and this about sexual purity? And their parents, say that, oh, shut up, why you talking about things like that? Where did you hear it from? Beat them. And these children had to go and learn from an uncle, and they asked them, and maybe they had to go and ask a neighbor, oh, what uncle, what's sex? And the uncle be like, oh, let me teach you what sex is. And the uncle will, sexually abuse them or sexually assault them, and that is the beginning of their sexual exploration, which might lead to sexual addiction. It might lead to STI, HIV, STIs, and other sexual related diseases, which is not meant to be. So here are a few things parents often get wrong when it comes to conversations around sexual health or conversations around sexual and reproductive health. Number one is waiting too long. Many parents wait too long to have these conversations and be like, oh, when they are adults, when they are more mature, I will have this conversation with them. But the truth is, if you keep postponing this conversation, it's like postponing the evil day. By the time the evil day comes, they're already mature, their mind already made up, they've already been filled with other informations, in which some might be right, but not all is right, in which there might be a lot of wrong informations that might affect themselves with along the line, when you're trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to wait for this conversation, I'm trying to wait to have this conversation with them. Number two is that making it a one-time lecture. Many parents made conversations around sexual health or around sex to their adolescents, to their teenagers, a one-off conversation, and usually authoritative. Like, you must not engage in premarital sex. If you do it, you get pregnant. If you do it, you bring shame to this family. If you do it, you get STI, HIV, and that is the end of your education. And you felt to you've passed information. Trust me, you do not pass information. You only pass your fears onto your children, and they will do nothing with it because they want to challenge it and be like, I actually did it and nothing happened. Because that thing you told them not to try, they will definitely try it. So the sex conversation shouldn't be a scary one, and it doesn't have to be scary information. You don't have to just scare them. Make it age appropriate. Come down to their level and communicate this information. Find out what they already know, and if they know nothing, give them this information little by little. It is progressive. This conversation is progressive. Keep having the information around consent, around menstruation, around puberty, all these things. When we hear sexual reproductive health, it's not just the sexual part that should be playing in our head. There are so many other factors. There's so many other conversations. Menstruation, puberty, for the boy child, their puberty change, emotional changes, the time where they begin to feel themselves as, oh, I'm the best thing after God. These conversations happen. These are teenagers. They feel as if they are the best thing after toast bread. And really, are they really the best thing after toast bread? So, number three is that they feel like leading with fear or shame is the best option for them when it comes to this conversation. Conversations say that if you get pregnant, you are finished. Are they really finished? Or if you sleep with someone, you will get a disease. If you sleep with someone, you will get HIV, you get STI, you'll be condemned. Really? That's not the best way to arm your adolescents with sexual and reproductive health, information. Don't lead them with fear. Don't speak to them about this conversation from the standpoint of fear, because they can smell it from afar. Even if you are not speaking it, they can smell fear from afar. And lastly, ignoring emotional or moral values. Some feel like, oh, sex education is just about biology, just telling them that, oh, this is your sex, this is your armpit, don't let anybody touch your armpit, don't let anybody touch your breast, don't let anybody touch your penis, your vagina. Really? It's beyond biology. It's them understanding consent. It's them understanding self-respect. It's them understanding how to speak up for themselves when faced with any form of, sexual abuse, sexual trauma. It's them understanding their self-worth, understanding their self-identity, and trusting themselves and having faith in themselves. All these things encompass them, and teenagers need context to this conversation. Don't shield the conversation. Not just warnings. Not just that if you do this, this will happen to you. No, not just warnings. They need context. You need to explain to them. You need to carry them along in this conversation and let them know that they are very, very relevant and important as you carry this conversation with them. So now let's move to how to talk to your teenagers or to your adolescents about sex. Number one, start small but start early. So use real life situation. You can share from your experience. You can share, from your experience. You can share from a scene in a movie, maybe because I'm watching a movie together. So share from that scene and be like, oh, this and this happened, and move on from there. A question that they ask, use that question. When you are standing from a movie, it will lead to them, they are curious. They will ask a question. Let that question lead naturally to you unfolding conversations around, this topic on sexual health. Number two, be approachable, not judgmental. Teenagers want someone that they can speak to and will listen, and not just be quick to judge. Like my friend was saying, we listen. No, the typical thing is that we don't judge, but we listen, we correct in love. So correct them in love. Let them know that, oh, there is love here. You are approachable. They can find a covering with you. You are a safe space. You won't be so quick to judge them, because if you judge them, they will go back into their shell. They will go back to their friends and they will leave you alone. So please be approachable, not judgmental. Number three is that share accurate information. Don't share your information from the standpoint of fear. Like I said earlier, when it comes to leading conversation from a standpoint of fear or shame, conversation says that if you get pregnant, you are a disgrace to yourself. If you impregnate somebody, you're going to get a disease. If you sleep with someone, you get HIV. No. That's sharing or inaccurate information. So please don't shy away from talking about puberty, from talking about consent, from talking about contraception, from talking about emotional change or emotional well-being. Don't shy away from talking about this conversation, because all these things make up their make up their knowledge gap when it comes to sexual and reproductive health. And moving on to another point is that you need to listen more than speaking. Listen more than you speak. Listen to their non-verbal conversation and listen to their verbal conversation, because sometimes they feel like, oh, their friends knows best. So when you're speaking at time, be like, my friend, can you come? Don't be so quick to judge. Don't be so quick to say, shut up, I know what I'm saying. We understand you are the parents. Listen but correct in love. Listen but don't be too quick to judge. Listen than you speak. So the things they are not saying, you are listening to it. The things they are saying, you are listening to it. So sometimes the best way to teach is to first understand what they already know. Is to first understand what is forming their baseline conversation. What have they said with their friends? What have they fed their friends? Because your daughter or your son might be the one feeding their friends on conversations around sex. Or might be something they've read from their books, something they read from books online, something they read online, a video they saw online, somebody they are role model. So you need to understand what do they already know, because this will guide what you're going to teach them. And I would say include your values such as respect, your values such as integrity, your values such as your family values, your religion values. Include it in this conversation. But it's not just about encouraging sex, it's about encouraging wisdom, because this wisdom is already there. Just encourage them. Speak from the standpoint of the light that you have, and let them know that, oh, there is love at home, there is love here, and you are willing to listen to them without judging them. So when parents build trust and openness, it makes these teenagers or these adolescents feel safe, and it makes them make better and informed decisions for themselves and for their future. They learn that sex isn't a taboo, it's a topic that deserves respect and understanding and guidance. They know, oh, conversation around sex or around sexual and reproductive health, it's not just a taboo. It's not a scary topic or a mystified topic that we should only be said in hushed tones. No, they know that they can speak it with their parents, and their parents will not judge them. Their parents will listen to them. So, but when we choose silence, we raise a generation, we raise a misguided generation that we get information from their peers, from pornography, from pop culture, and that is very dangerous. I'm sure you know that. So, dear parents, start the conversation today. Start that conversation. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to show honesty, patience, and love. You don't need to have everything figured out. Just let them know that you will guide them. Like we said, be approachable, not judgmental. Correct in love. Listen, but correct in love. You're not judging. Correct in love. So if you found this helpful, please don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share this video, tag a parent. What did I say? Tag a parent. So a parent that feels that needs to hear this, please tag them and let them know that they need to parent in love, they need to parent in patience, they need to parent in honesty. And if you need help, my email is open, preciousaleke20@gmail.com. I'm willing to listen to you, and I would love to someday share conversations around parents that parents are sharing or teenagers are sharing with me, and use that to also tackle other informations so that we can have more guided generations out there. I know a video on I'll be raising a misguided generation should be out before this video, so please go and watch this video after this if you have not seen that video. I'll see you guys in the next one.